I feel like everyone who makes those "watch this if you're still a virgin" videos tells you the same story. I lost my virginity at a super young age, but I was still just as empty inside, so it's not worth it. But I feel like my story is different. Therefore, I want to tell you my story when it comes to virginity, my experience, what I learned, and my perspective, which is very different than whatever everyone else tells you. So, I have seen that a lot of people nowadays have this pressure in high school that they have to lose their virginity as early as possible. However, I did not have that insecurity because in my high school, pretty much everyone was a virgin, and those who claimed they weren't, we all knew they were probably lying. And therefore, we were lucky enough, I guess, to not feel this insecurity. However, in addition, I have pretty conservative parents who never talked with me about intimacy, which is why I believe I was an early teenager and I still probably believed that parents hug each other very tightly and then a child magically gets created or something. And even later, I still thought most people wait until they get married, until they get intimate for the first time, because that's how I was raised. Therefore, when I was 18 and someone asked me, "Are you a virgin?" I was like, "Of course, I'm just 18. I'm still fairly young." But then I started becoming obsessed with the idea of sex. Whenever I heard that someone had children, I was like, that means they must have had sex at least once in their lifetime. And I thought sex was the most amazing thing you could arguably experience in life. So I was kind of envious of them. But at the same time, I was like, I will get there once. One day I will have so many children that people will look at me and think, that man must have had a lot of fun in the bedroom. Because I made a lot of sex jokes, and I do to this day. To be fair, people look at me like I'm a lunatic whenever I make sex jokes. So nowadays, I am very subtle about them. It's like trying to make a sex joke in a kid's show while bypassing the censorship. Kind of. Oh yeah, this person loves drinking coffee. They also have children, so they probably also love something else. And yes, you could admit some of my jokes were kind of immature, but that's because I had this obsession over sex. And the reason why I had this obsession was because I knew nothing about it. Because my parents never talked to me about it, and because nobody around me was ever engaging in the activity. And so I thought I would be one of the first people to lose my virginity. But then I looked it up, and apparently the average global age for losing it was like 17, and I was at least 18 at that point. And I was so terrifyingly insecure that I felt the need to lose my virginity as soon as possible, even though nobody I knew was pressuring me. I was only pressuring myself. And so I wanted to lose my V card when I was 18, but I couldn't, because it was during the pandemic. You had to stay at home, there were lockdowns, and you could not go out and meet people. So I waited patiently, because I had no other choice, until the pandemic died down, and then I started putting myself out there. I started going to the gym and all that kind of stuff. And then I started dating this one girl, and I started doing this and that, I guess. And I lost it immediately after turning 20. Most people get presents on their birthday. I did not get anything. I lost something. And if you ever tell me it was a late time to lose it, I will not believe you. Let me explain why. You see, what does it mean to lose your virginity? Well, most people will define it with penetration. But lesbians, for example, they cannot penetrate. I guess they can only do something I saw in South Park, but I'm not gonna get into detail because I don't want my video to get age restricted or worse. But does it mean lesbians stay virgins forever? Well, that's not fair. Therefore, my definition of losing your virginity is the first time you have the most amazing experience in life. And so, previously I used to think all those middle-aged parents, they might be miserable, but they have children, so at least 20 minutes of their life were amazing. They should be grateful for that, I thought. But then I realized that literally your whole life can be miserable. Because I realized there are multiple tiers to having sex. Yes, it can truly be the most amazing thing you will ever experience. But it can also be something where you just cannot enjoy it. And instead you're just like, okay, this is currently happening, I guess. But when you are a virgin, you don't want to believe this. You want to believe in this fairy tale that everyone will experience something amazing at least once in their lifetime. Which is why you have to make the activity special. I will admit, the girl I lost it to was horrible in the bedroom. She kept giving up every few seconds and she was like, this is not working, let's try this way. And my reaction was like, you're giving up after only a few seconds! Of course it's not gonna work! But what matters is that she tried to make it work. She made sure we had a good talk before this and a good build up to this. So it was still romantic, and that's what I am grateful for. A lot of the times, your first time will not feel really that successful. That is why you have to make sure you at least have a right foundation around it. That there is this good build-up and that it's romantic, you know? But a lot of people don't have that foundation. The reason why I won't believe you if you tell me I was a late bloomer or whatever is because a lot of people who lose their virginity at an early age do it with their best friend's cousin. What do I mean by that? They lose their virginity to someone whom they don't even like. Someone who don't even likes them back. And the activity itself is that low tier I previously kind of described. But they only do it for the sake of doing it, so that they can brag to others that they are no longer a virgin. But I don't think that counts, because the activity wasn't amazing. Therefore, you're still a virgin in my book. I had a foundation around me when I was like 19, 20 or whatever. Something like that. Most people don't have that foundation when they lose it at an early age. Now, I'm not necessarily gonna tell you that cliche that you should save yourself for the right one before you do it, because that's not really a realistic goal. Most people will think they met the right one and then they realize it's not the right one after all, am I right? However, if you're gonna have sex, make sure that you make it as amazing as possible. Do it with a person you truly care about. And don't do it just for the sake of doing it. Because that's when you might fool those who are still virgins that you have had an amazing experience, but anyone who has the experience, myself included, will see through your BS. And in my book, you will still be a virgin. However, those people who indeed have had an amazing experience before you, because they have gotten themselves into loving relationships while you are still chronically single, those are the people you should envy. That's right, I am the first person to ever tell you to envy someone. Because envy can actually be a good thing, if you know how to use it. You see, it can motivate you to be productive, so that one day you can surpass all those people you envy. The reason why I work hard by going to the gym every day and uploading a video onto this channel almost daily, while working on a second YouTube channel and studying for my college program and learning new languages, eating healthy food, and recently even starting to better manage my sleep, and so much more, is because I am jealous of my high school classmates who got into beautiful relationships before me. And I know it sounds bad. I am comparing myself to other people and I am living in the past or whatever. But this is what makes me going. This is what motivates me to do the hard work. Because I want to become a more high value man than them. If I just followed the advice saying, don't compare yourself to others, you are okay the way you are, I would be playing video games, eating junk food and all of that. And sometimes I'm like, nah, I don't feel like going to the gym or editing this video. But then I remember how other people are better than me, and so that causes me to keep going anyway. Now, the reason why some people tell you comparing yourself to others and all of that is unhealthy is because some people go about it the wrong way. They are like, that person is already better than me, so I might as well give up. But I am like, that person is currently better than me. They are ahead of me in the sprinting race, so I have to run faster, so that I can surpass them and reclaim my #1 spot. And so, if you are envious of those who have lost their virginity before you, rather than losing your virginity as well so that you can get to their level, be productive and run even faster so that you can literally surpass them. And if you're watching this, try to surpass me, because everything I have said so far has worked for me, and it allows me to be productive.